Let's write to a text file. If we use Python's built-in open function to open a file using a with block to automatically close the file when we're done working with it, we can take the file object that we get back and call the write method on it to write text to this file. Except by default, this doesn't work. We get an error. And we get an error because the open function accepts more than just a file name. It also accepts a mode. And by default, that mode is R for read mode. We need to specify write mode. So if we look at the modes accepted by open, we'll see that the default is R, and in fact, more explicitly, it's RT for read text mode. We need to specify W, or even more explicitly, WT for write text mode, as opposed to writing in binary mode. So we're going to specify a mode as we open up our file. Now, we're not passing it in as a positional argument, even though we could. We're passing it in as a named argument to be explicit. We're passing specifically a mode in. That's what this WT means. Now, when we open this file and call its write method, we'll get back the number of characters that were written to this file. And if we take a look at the file contents, we'll see that our text was written to the file. Sort of. Our text wasn't written exactly how we wanted. We wanted to write 2 separate lines to this file, but Python wrote 1 line. It wrote 1 line because it wrote exactly the text we gave to it, and we didn't give it any Newline characters to write. So to write 2 separate lines to this file, we should end each of our lines in a Newline character. Now we have 2 separate lines in this file. Now, what if we open a file without using a with block, and then we take the file object that we get back and we call write on it to write some text to this file? Will this file have been written to at this point? The answer is probably not. Python doesn't write to a file until the file is flushed or until it's closed. So the best way to open up a file and make sure that everything is written to the file as soon as you're done working with it is to use a context manager, that is a with block, to make sure the file is automatically closed when you're done working with it. So to write to a text file in Python, you can use the built-in open function specifying a mode of W or WT, and you can use the write method on the file object you get back to write to that file. And it's best to use a with block when you're opening a file to write to it.